I'm Sigmund.
My name's Raker.
We're coming back today to talk a little bit more about Leckuchner's Messer and swords. So last video we went into the Zorn Ort, and in it we talked a bit about the two counters to the Zorn Ort. But we talked about them mainly in context of understanding and justifying that first wind within the Zorn Ort. Today we want to talk about pulling off those counters against a fully articulated Zorn Ort.
So, thank you, Sigmund. The counters that we're specifically talking about are coming into the second wind of the Zorn. There's a cut to the wrist and a thrust to the chest. So without further ado, please enjoy.
Quick note, you may notice that our winds are a little higher than they were in the last video. We did find that if you wind out around shoulder height, you end up on the middle or strong of their blade, which gives them more leverage to fight you on it. By winding up higher, especially in that second wind, it puts you on the weak of their blade and makes that thrust a little more likely to land.
So what we're going to go over now is why you'd use one of these techniques over the other, and what makes these techniques effective. Starting off, for both of these techniques, you need to focus on that, on drawing your opponent out. So when they cut in and they go for that first wind, you need to draw them out to go into the second winding. It's very important. Now, if you are reactive to them and you follow their blade as it goes out, you'll actually be responding in the knock, and your opponent will probably land that cut, or at the very least, you won't get in.
You'll miss your window of opportunity.
You will miss your window of opportunity for those counters. However, if you use that drawing them out, this parry to the side, as an opportunity to regain the vor of the fight, to draw them out to the side, and you're responding to the fencer, to how they're reacting, not to what their sword is doing, it actually puts you in the perfect position to then respond appropriately with either a cut to the wrist or a thrust to the body. And Sigmund, can you please describe why I would use the cut to the wrist and why I'd use the cut to the body and what makes them work?
Yeah, so as they're drawn out to the side with that wind and your parry, they can end up in several different positions. One of them is a more horizontal off-line position. That draws out their arm and makes them more vulnerable to the wrist cut. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So, as we can see, when your parry pushes them all the way out to the side, they can end up in that more horizontal motion. That puts them as a prime target for the wrist cut. That extended wrist is very vulnerable, and their reach is shortened a little bit by not going through the direct, most short path, but by trying to wrap around a little bit. Now, another position they can end up in is one that's a little more online, but has more reaching upwards to try and get at you.
Yeah, and that's a perfect opportunity to then go in for the body thrust, because that higher structure means that they can't reach the same distance as you can with that more linear structure that you have. And that slightly closer measure also puts the body in the perfect target range as opposed to the hand. And you can see it. So as you can see, that short edge thrust has a shorter reach than the long edge one and leaves you vulnerable to that counter.
So, a quick note about targeting. Why would you use one over the other with regards to where you're going to hit? Now, hitting the wrist does control the weapon. It feels safer. They're not going to come in with that thrust on you when they've got a sword buried in their arm. However, despite feeling more vulnerable, the body thrust is targeting a vital area. You might not know what's going on with their arm, which leaves you a little bit more dangerous in case they do something you don't expect. However, keep in mind that the people writing and executing these techniques were working in the context of sharp weapons with the intent to hurt themselves. A pointy thing coming right at your torso has a psychological factor of either killing them or making them get the hell out of the way. Both of those actions, suppressing the arm or threatening a vital target, have their own value.
All right, so that concludes our video for today. We actually have started on filming all of the Leckuchner Messer Zorn plays.
We're editing them right now.
Yep, so they're going to be coming out. We're going to try and keep them coming out regularly. And we really want to keep this discussion going. So please, if you have any thoughts, comments, leave them in the comments below.
Subscribe to Vor videos.
Yeah, please do subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. This is a passion project for us, so we want to keep it going. Anyways, we have some vital reading to get back to.
Ta-ta!